All right, so starting out, let's just come to a nice comfortable seat. And as always, you could be sitting in a chair here. You could be on the floor if that feels better. You could even be laying down to start out if that's what you need. If you are in a chair, just peek to see that feet are about hips distance apart. You can always take a block between your thighs or between your feet. If that helps you to get a little support, you could use a strap around your feet. And then also, if you are joining from YouTube, if you're a little shorter, it can be a really nice adjustment. It just gives you a little height underneath your feet. So taking a blanket or even your blocks underneath your feet. So you kind of want the knees out directly from the hips. So just adjust as you need to. Find a seat that's comfortable. You can be leaning back into your chair starting out, or you could be slightly forward on your sit bones. Good. So just resting your hands wherever feels comfortable. They can be by your sides or on your thighs. Close your eyes here. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And do that a couple more times. So letting it all go. The first week of 2021, any residual 2020, letting the Mondays go, the to-do list go, all the little things that seem to stress us out. We all have lots going on, and it's really easy to get fixated on all of those things. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but we do need to take these breaks. Our yoga practice is a really nice place for us to do that. So eventually you're going to start to find a nice steady inhale through your nose. And then you're also going to exhale through your nose. As much as possible as we're practicing here, you're going to hold on to that. You may find at some points that you need to breathe through the mouth. That's absolutely fine. But inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose kind of has this nice quieting quality. You might even begin to constrict the sides of your throat a little bit. So you start to create this soft rush of air in the back of your throat. So coming into our Ujjayi breath, our victorious breath. And that sound can be very nice for us. It gives us something to focus the attention on. Kind of helps to drown out all of the background noise as well. As you're breathing here, that nice even inhale, that nice even exhale, do a little body scan. So just noticing any places of tension, any places where you might be gripping. Also notice those places where it feels like you're getting length and extension in your body, where there's a sense of ease. And just kind of taking stock of where you are at physically today. You're going to get distracted by sounds happening in the room that you're in. You're going to get distracted by the thoughts coming in and out of your mind, and that's okay. As soon as you notice that you've gone to those places, so just come back to your breath. You might have to do that 1,000 times the next hour. That's how we start to build this mindfulness muscle. Another moment or two here. Just soaking up these quiet moments. And then you can just keep your eyes closed here if that feels good to you. We're going to start to move into a little seated cat-cow. So if your arms are by your side, just bring your hands on top of your thighs. Find the center of your sit bones. Good. And then as you inhale, we're going to start to rock forward on our sit bones. So we arch a lot in the lumbar, the lower back. You can feel your shoulder heads pressed back. Your chest is popping through the gates of those shoulder heads. And then as we exhale, we rock to the backs of the sit bones. We start to round in the thoracic, the upper spine, really letting the back of the neck lengthen and release. Inhaling, arching. And think elbows squeezing in a little bit here as you exhale, round in. And then you're going to continue like this. You're going to be here for a couple of minutes. You're just gently starting to open up the spine. It's just finding some movement there. It doesn't have to be very big starting out. You're also starting to connect your movement with the breath. So you're moving at your pace today. Not too fast, not too slow. You're really intuiting what feels right for you. And then perhaps just notice that slight pause at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath. So nothing is happening. There's this complete stillness. There's no movement in your body. So a really simple flow happening here. For a lot of us as we begin to move like this, has this calming quality. So much as the breath is one of those tools, when we add the movement with the breath, for a lot of us, that really helps us to kind of get internal, let everything on the outside go away. And it also feels really good to find this movement in our bodies, this rhythm. So go ahead and start to just add a little movement so you can kind of make some little circles. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So just exploring a little bit. And you can go both directions. Nice work, everyone. And you're just going to take a few more breaths. You're going to start to make your way back upright. So just finding that nice mountain pose, your Tadasana. Sitting tall. Again, maybe just check down, make sure that feet are still about hips distance apart. It doesn't have to be perfect, but feel your shoulders stacking over your sit bones. Feel that anchoring down into your feet, into your sit bones. So that rooted feeling really helps you to lift in your spine through the sides of your waist. And then let's move into some neck stretching here. So you can keep your hands on your thighs, especially if you know there's a lot of tension in the neck. I can't imagine why there would be, but if there is, hands here is going to be nice. If you think that you can use a little more work, you can just release your arms by your side and start to move our chin towards our chest. And if your arms are by the side here, and as you do this, as you come into the pose, you're like, this is too much. Of course, just put your hands back on your thighs. So we can always make little adjustments. Sometimes we have to explore the pose first before we know where it is we need to be today. It can be really challenging to release the back of the neck. We're so used to holding our brain and our skull upright. So as you're doing this again, just observe if the shoulders have started to creep up around the ears, let them soften down. And maybe even think with your inhale that you're expanding the chest up towards the chin instead of the other way around. Good. Keep your chin tucked. As we exhale, we're going to start to lean the right ear off towards the right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, move towards that left side. So kind of just slow, steady breaths. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. Couple more. Inhale, chin tucks towards the center. Exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. As you inhale, come back to center. You're noticing how this feels. How is it different side to side? Exhale to the right. Good. Inhale, come to center. Exhale to the left. So we've kind of warmed this up a little bit. Inhale back to center. Finding that inhale and exhale through your nose, just holding here. And then not moving so quickly. This time taking your time. So it's going to take several breaths. Keeping that chin tucked, you start to make your way to the right. But this time you're pausing in those spots where you get that really intense stretch on the left side of your neck, taking a couple breaths there. Observing if you've started to clench your face, your jaw at all, soften there as much as possible, even though this is really intense. Again, let those shoulders release down. Mine just started to creep up around the ears. It's interesting what our bodies do without us noticing. If you would like to bring your right hand to the top of your head, apply a little pressure and pull down, you're welcome to do so. If that feels like too much, just release the hand. Good, deep inhale. Good. As you exhale, just release the hand. And then inhale. Roll back to center. So chin tucking towards your chest. Couple breaths here before we go off to the left, nice and slow. Good. So again, just taking your time here, hands on thighs, or they can be released by your side. So starting to feel the sensations through that right side of the neck, those scalene muscles. Pause, take a couple breaths. Maybe visualize your exhale going to the spots that are kind of tangled up. So use that breath like a comb to untangle any snarls that you're getting. Good. And then finally, if you'd like to add your left hand to the top of your head, just apply a little gentle pressure. This side might feel different. Skip it if it's not right. Good. Deep inhale. As you exhale, just release that left hand down. And then inhale. And just start to roll back to center. Let your chin just hang there a couple more breaths. So hopefully it's feeling like there's a little more space in the back of your neck. Getting a little more release and lengthening. And then just start to bring your chin up, your gaze up. Great work. So let's move into some half sun salutes here. So we'll do several rounds of those, and then we'll do some lateral side to side stretching. So finding your seat. If you do have blocks, this can be a good place to set the blocks up. Just so you can place your hands on them. Also, if it's hard to go deep into a forward fold, you could have a chair in front of you or a table. Use that so you don't go quite as far. So that works as well. All right, so as we set up here, just find those sit bones, anchor down into your feet, and then really start to lengthen through the sides of your waist. So sitting nice and tall. And then we're going to inhale. You can stretch your arms out wide here. You're also welcome to stretch your arms forward. That might be dictated by space or how things are feeling in your shoulders. Let's hold each pose this first round for a couple of breaths. Just imagine that somebody is gently pulling up on your arms, so you're getting a little more length. And then pretend that there's a wheel in your heart and your chest that's spinning up towards the ceiling, so you might get a little sense of cobra pose, back bend in the thoracic. Maybe you even start to bring your gaze up. And your breath is still smooth and steady here. As we exhale, we're going to make our way into our forward fold. So you can swan dive in. You can use your hands on your thighs to help you fold in. And again, if you just have a chair in front of you, just pause there. Otherwise, you can fold in as deep as is comfortable for your body. Fingertips can be blocks by your sides, or you just might, fingertips might be resting on the floor. Feel that lengthening of your spine. So we're kind of using gravity here, and we're basically in an inversion in this forward fold. All right, so as we inhale, couple of options. If you do have blocks, you can press your hands into blocks, arms start to come to straight. You could also press hands into shins or thighs, and thinking a little cobra pose here. So this is the back bend portion of the sun salute. Sun salutes are just forward folding and back bending. You can think elbows squeezing in towards each other. Again, heart just spinning up towards the ceiling, wherever you're at with this pose. Gaze slightly forward. So this gaze in yoga is called our drishti. We kind of want to keep it soft. So we're not exactly focusing on anything. We're not getting distracted. We're not looking around. All right, so exhale, release back in. Just let the back of your neck lengthen. And you can go as deep in your body as feels comfortable. Again, for some of us, the forward folds feel a little too intense in the spine. So you use a prop, a chair in front of you, a desk in front of you instead. And then really energetically root into your feet, root into your sit bones, and we start to roll all the way up. So you could reverse swan dive out. You can use your hands to your thighs to press you upright, and then stretch your arms up. So here we are back in our extended mountain pose. Lots of length, little back bend. Maybe you're bringing your gaze up. Maybe you're smiling a little bit. Good. And then as you exhale, hands can come down heart center. You can reach out wide and bring your palms together. So again, lots of little variations. You can kind of mix and match these. So we're going to put that all together, one breath per movement. So as we inhale, we reach up, take lots of space. Really lovely. As we exhale, we come to our version of the forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen forward into this half forward fold, finding a little back bend. As we exhale, we come back in, releasing down, feeling the weight of gravity. Then as we inhale, we roll back up to our extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Beautiful work. Inhale, reach. Utthita Hastasana into Dasana, extended mountain pose. As we exhale, we fold into our Uttanasana, so deep forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen into our Ardha Uttanasana. Ardha is half, so half forward fold. Back into the deep forward fold, Uttanasana. And then rooting down to rise up, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana, extended mountain. As we exhale, hands come to heart center, Samastitihi, even standing. We're going to do 3 more. I'm not going to cue you, so you can just move at your pace. If you know these, you can just follow along with me if you're a little newer. And if these aren't working for you today and it just feels better to come into a child's pose or resting on a chair or maybe just sitting in quiet meditation, you're always welcome to do that as well. There's no rush. With these, you're finding this rhythm in your body. You're finding this gracefulness in your body. You're finding spaciousness in your body. You're enjoying all of these sensations. You're noticing how you just keep opening up a little more and a little more. Sometimes it's really subtle. Soaking up that sound of your breath. Just let that breath be your soundtrack. Good. And when you're done with your third round, you're just pausing, palms together at your heart, eyes closed, in your mountain pose, and you're checking in. So you're noticing what's shifting for you. You're noticing how you're feeling different already. You might be feeling a little heat inside your body. This is a good thing. The heart might be beating a little faster. The breath may have sped up. So just observing, just getting curious. And then release your arms down by your side. And we're going to do our side to side lateral stretching, moving with the breath. So again, we're going to kind of warm up the sides of the body. So as we move into this, it doesn't have to be very deep starting out. So find that anchoring into your sit bones, especially try to keep them nice and even as we move through these. We're going to inhale, stretch that right arm up and over. Exhale, release. Beautiful work. Nice. Inhale, left arm. So we're just going to kind of warm this up. Exhale, release. And then we'll hold each side a little bit longer. And again, just finding this flow here, this idea of vinyasa. And you can just move with your breath, but inhale, you're finding length, you're reaching up. Good. Exhale, you release down. You might be finding more space here as we continue to move like this. Good. So the next time that left arm is reaching up and over, you're leaning off to the right. Just hold there. Pretend that somebody's gently pressing down onto your left thigh, so helping to anchor that sit bone. Your gaze could be forward. You might kind of start to look out at a diagonal. Maybe you look all the way up underneath that top arm, if it feels okay to do so. Still breathing. Notice if shoulders start to creep up around the ears here, soften them down. And you can even feel the shoulder blades kind of squeezing in towards each other a little bit. Good. So a little different before we come all the way to the other side. You can just keep your right fingertips reaching down, but I want you to extend that left arm out, kind of like 45 degrees. So more like shoulders stacking on top of each other here. So kind of like our triangle pose arms, which we're going to be going into eventually. Good, and then see if you can stay in this side fold, but find a little more length through the right side of your waist. Good. Deep inhale. As you exhale, release down, come back upright. And then inhale, right arm reaches up and over. So getting all of that gorgeous lengthening through the right waist. Shoulder blades. Squeezing in towards each other slightly. Shoulders releasing down. And even here, you can try to find a little lengthening through the left side. Of course, it's a little compressed, so that's hard, but find maybe a little more space there. Begin to spin those left ribs up towards the ceiling, and then maybe you're looking up underneath that right arm. That's going to stretch the neck again a little bit. So similar to the neck stretching that we did. Nice, smooth inhale. Full, complete exhale. All right, so just stay here, keep anchoring into your sit bones, reaching through those left fingertips. And just kind of come out of the lateral stretch with that right arm. So you can really kind of feel shoulder blades stacking on top of each other here. Find a little more length through that left side of your waist. Twist those ribs up. You can always release that top arm down if you need a little break. This is a nice long hold. You guys are doing great. Good, deep inhale. And then we exhale, release. Just take a couple of breaths here. So you guys can just stay here. So I want to explore our triangle pose with the chair, and I'm going to do a few different variations with the legs. So this is kind of going to be like Parsvakonasana, our extended side angle pose, and then there's going to be options along the way, and we'll do one side and then the other. We're going to add some arm variations here too. So I'm going to show you triangle pose standing so you can get a visual of what it is we're kind of aiming to achieve in the body, so you can see that. And I'm going to show it with an arm variation, and then really quick I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the chair, the different variations. So you can just watch this. You don't need to make any adjustments at this point. So we've worked a lot lately on our warrior two pose, our Parsvakonasana, and our reverse warrior. So classically, those are wide-legged poses. So I'm going to just come into our warrior two really quick here. So this is our warrior two. And then our side angle pose is here. So I'm approximating in my arms what we just did. And then of course, our reverse warrior is here. So I more so want to explore this extended side angle pose today. And then I also want to play with our triangle pose. So triangle pose is the same configuration in the legs and the upper body, except for this front leg stays straight. So here is triangle pose. So my shoulder blades stack on top of each other in this variation, trying to lengthen through the right side of the waist. And we're going to really try to focus on this in class today, that lengthening. And then there's a little bit of a twist. So I'm trying to wrap those right ribs up. And then we'll play with taking the top arm up overhead. So that's a nice, is that like that lateral stretch that we just did? And then I'd also like to play with our wrap. So I start to externally rotate this top arm, bend the elbow, grab a piece of shirt, might be able to get a little further, and then you just get a little leverage to press that left shoulder head back. All right, so that's how it looks standing. This is how we're gonna attack it with our chairs today. So first thing first, we're just going to keep it really simple. So I'm going to give lots of options. The important thing is to always feel stable and safe here. So you can always just stay with the first variation. You can add on as feels good. So for the first one, we're just going to keep knees bent, and we're just going to really focus on the side stretch. So you're going to reach your right hand off to the side, and then we're going to find our triangle pose. So we're not coming all the way up and over yet. We're feeling the shoulder blades really stack. We're trying to lengthen a little through the right side, and then roll those right ribs up. So the second variation will be more of our Parsvakonasana. So we'll then open up the thigh, and you will have the option here to keep this left knee bent. You can take the leg straight, or you can open up. So we've done this before, and it just kind of depends on what's going on with your body, what feels good to you. So again, just the same thing. And of course, if going here doesn't feel good, you stay in option one. All right, so we'll play with this, and we'll also play with the wrap in this pose. And then so like the final option, variation, is we're gonna come into the triangle pose. So front leg straight, if possible, in your body. And if not, no big deal. If it doesn't feel steady, you can be in one of the prior variations. You also have the option to take left leg straight, and maybe if it is accessible in your body, to let that hip roll down. And then the same thing. So we'll hold here. We find that feeling of shoulders stacking on top of each other. We'll take the arm up and over so we get that long stretch through the left side. And then we'll also play with taking the wrap. So that's where we're headed. Okay. So first things first, just find a nice, easy seat. So your nice mountain pose. And then you're set up so that you can rest your hand on a chair or a desk, coffee table, so whatever you have. All right. So as we inhale, let's stretch our arms up. Good. So about wrists in line with shoulders. So sometimes the hands lift a little too high. We start to scrunch the shoulders up around the ears. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, shift off to the left a little bit. Try to lengthen through this right side. And then place your right hand down on your prop, whatever you're using. And then notice if this top arm comes too far up overhead to start out. So we're really trying to it's like we've taken our arms out wide and we haven't done anything. Shoulder blades are still stacking on top of each other. As you inhale, find more length through the right side of your waist. Beautiful work. Nice, Scott. And then perhaps you start to roll those right ribs up. Good. And maybe you look up at your left fingertips if it feels okay. Nice, Martha. Kelly, this is beautiful what you're doing. Nice, Amy. And Scott has modified, I love it. So if you're getting any neck pain or if this just isn't working, you can just bend your left elbow and hold the back of your neck. That's a beautiful variation. Okay, so if it feels okay here, maybe you stretch that top arm up and overhead. So shoulders aren't stacking on top of each other anymore, but we're still trying to find length through the right side of our waist. Really nice work. And then as you inhale, think anchoring down into your sit bones. Upright yourself. Exhale, release your arms down. And we're just going to take several breaths here before we add on. So as I said, you can just do exactly that same pose again. This is triangle pose. It's kind of approximating everything. So it's a good place to be. And it's kind of fun sometimes to repeat these poses. So do them a few times. Sometimes we just come into them once and we sort of miss some of the things because there's so much going on. Okay, so you can stay here, can open up that right leg if it feels okay to do so. So we're going to call this our Parsvakonasana, our extended side angle pose. So left knee can stay as it is, can extend it straight. Maybe you open that leg up a little bit and kind of roll to the inner edge of the foot. So these are all doing the same thing, all good places to be. So find the place where you feel most steady. Okay, so with this right leg open, we're getting this nice hip opener. So the tendency is for the torso to start to come along for the ride. I want you to keep your torso facing forward. So there's all these little micro movements happening in the body. As we inhale again, the arms reach up. So the arms stay exactly like this. We're not whipping this top arm up and over. We start to hinge at that right hip. We reach, and I'm going to give you a couple options here. So you might just want to rest your elbow on that right thigh, or again, you can just take your hand or maybe forearm onto the chair. So we have warrior two in our lower body. We have triangle pose in our upper body. So we're inhaling, finding length through the right side of the waist. These are really beautiful. As you exhale, you're twisting those right ribs up towards the ceiling. A little more, really nice. Okay, so stay here like this. If you would like to come into your wrap, start to externally rotate that left arm. So you're spinning the eye of the elbow to face behind you. Bend the elbow, and then you can just grab a piece of shirt. You can kind of move towards the lower right waist. That might not be happening, so wherever you're at is good. And then you can kind of press your forearm, the back of your hand into your back, and then you lean this left shoulder back a little bit. So nice, intense shoulder stretch. Ooh, good work. Are you breathing? This is challenging, so sometimes we start to hold the breath. Nice, Kelly. Nice, Amy. These all look great. All right, so if you're in your wrap, release that arm, sigh of relief. And then exhale, really anchor down into sit bones. Inhale, rise on up. Really nice work. Okay, so let's come back to center. Just give the legs a little break. And we're going to come into that full triangle pose here, if you would like. So again, you have the option to do that first variation. So legs like this. You can do the variation that we just did. If you would like to play with extending that right leg out to straight, you can do that. So it kind of comes off to the angle. It's this nice hip opening. You can extend left leg to straight. Not necessarily. It doesn't really matter if you're doing that. You can take the leg out wide, maybe roll to the inner edge of that left foot. So all really good places to be. I'm going to stay here for this one. Okay. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, think lots of length. So you're hinging at this right hip crease. Stretching, stretching, stretching. And then just releasing that right hand down to your chair, to the prop that you're using, feeling shoulder blades stack on top of each other. And you could be looking down here. That might feel better in your neck. You could be looking straight forward. Maybe you start to gaze up at that top thumb. All right. So again, let's start to externally rotate. Bend the elbow. So stay here, press that left shoulder head back. Now be really mindful about this. So we're gonna play with one more variation here if you're interested, and it's gonna require a little balance. So if you at all feel unsteady, you're gonna skip it. It's gonna also require a little core. So anchor down into sit bones. Maybe you lift your right hand up off the chair, extend forward a little bit. You're gonna kind of feel that through the sideways, the obliques. I think it's a good one to skip. It's intense. Really beautiful work, you guys. Oh, so nice. Okay. Go ahead. If you have lifted that right hand, place it down. Release the left arm, sigh of relief. Inhale. Come on up. Great work. Release hands down. And then we're going to take that little sequence to the second side. So give you a moment here to, if you need to change your orientation in the room where you're at, or if you need to move a prop to the other side, go ahead and do that. And we know where we're going on this side. All right. Okay, so for our first variation, we're just really focused on the upper body, finding the triangle. So just approaching this from our Tadasana pose. All right. Anchoring into our sit bones. Here we go as we inhale, arms reach. So wrists in line with your shoulders. Good. And then we're going to start to lengthen through that left side. It's almost like you're popping the hips off to the right, a little hip hop, dancer move. Root down into your left hand. Again, shoulder blades are stacking on top of each other. So we've just kind of turned everything on an angle here. Inhale, see if you can lengthen a little more through the left side of your body. Exhale, wrap those ribs up towards the ceiling. Breath smooth and steady, nice deep inhales, full complete exhales. Your gaze could be down, forward, or up. Beautiful work. And then maybe you start to extend that top arm up and over. So the wrist is in line with the shoulder, shoulder is in line with the hip. You get that long line of energy through the right side. As you're doing that, though, you're still wrapping those left ribs up. These look great. Good. As we inhale, we come up. Exhale, release the arms by your side. Just take a breath or two here. Kind of let the blood come back into the shoulders. Beautiful work. Okay, so you could just stick with that variation again. And of course, we're going to do the wrap on that side. So legs just might stay here like this. If you would like to come into more of your Parsvakonasana, so side angle pose, you can start to open up that left hip. You can keep the right knee bent, extend the leg straight, maybe open up. So wherever you feel comfortable and steady, this side might look entirely different than the other side, that's okay. And then let's square our torso to face forward. So we don't want it to come around for the ride in this hip opening pose. Good. Here we go. Inhale, arms reach. Good. Think lots of length, reaching, reaching, reaching. Extension through the left side. Elbow to your thigh or hand pressing down. So starting with those shoulder blades stacking on top of each other. Inhale, lengthen left side. Exhale, wrap those left ribs up towards the ceiling. These look so beautiful. You all have such a nice gaze. And then we start to externally rotate. So spin the eye of the right elbow to face behind you. Bend that elbow. And then you can grab a piece of shirt somewhere behind you and kind of press that hand into your back. So wherever you're at, but we're getting this nice, we're just adding the shoulder opener, and it can be quite intense. Good work, Jim. All right, as you inhale, release the wrap, extend your right arm up. And then on your next inhale, come on up. Exhale, release your hands down. Good. So option one again. So legs both facing forward into Tadasana. You can do this variation again. Finally, moving towards triangle pose, maybe you extend that left leg to straight. And actually, you could do it without opening the hip too. It'll be a little different, but we're really focusing on the upper body. So all of these variations, you can take right leg to straight, maybe open up, roll a little bit to the inner edge of the foot if that is possible. Square your torso. Inhale, arms reach. Good. As we exhale, see how long you can get through that left side. Reach, reach, reach. And when you can't reach any further, palm presses into your prop. Shoulder blades stack on top of each other, starting out. Breath smooth and steady. Gaze soft and gentle wherever it's at. So it could be down, it could be forward, it might be up. And then again, start to externally rotate that top arm. Bend at the elbow. So find that shoulder opening as you twist the left ribs up towards the ceiling. Press your right shoulder head back. Stay here like this. Maybe you lift your left hand up off the prop just for a breath or two. Great work. If you took that last little variation, press your hand back down. Extend your right arm up. So come out of the wrap. And then as you inhale, upright yourself here. Exhale, release your arms. And then just make your way back to your mountain pose. And closing your eyes here. And we start to move towards our Shavasana, which really snuck up on me today. This went super fast. So just figure out how you'd like to end class. You could come into a classic Shavasana on the floor if that is accessible to you. If you do have a table in front of you or your chair, it might be really nice to come into a supported forward fold, to a child's pose. Some of us just like to sit nice and tall in quiet meditation. So these are all great places to be. Just listen to what you need today. And then let's take a nice deep inhale. Open your mouth, let the breath go. Ha. And then start to melt in here. So allowing your breath to find its own natural rhythm. There's no sense of effort here or doing. You're just simply being. You're soaking up these final quiet moments. You're allowing all of the hard work you've done today to assimilate into your bones and muscles and tissues. And just taking rest here. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma joy tirgamaya. Mrityoma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. And take a deeper inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Start to bring a little gentle movement back to your body. So wiggle, stretch. And then placing your palms in a pile on top of your heart, sending yourself love and gratitude, sending your body love and gratitude. So it's really a gift to be able to work and move like this. It's not always easy, but it does make a difference. Finally, just promise yourself that you're going to carry some of this good feeling that you've created with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week ahead. Really terrific work today, yogis. Thank you. Namaste.